How's everybody doing? Good. All right, so I'm the drug man. Will told you a little bit about me. I'm a co-owner of Remington Drug, just up the road a little bit, and I just wanted to share my perspective on this plant and sort of what it's done for our drugstore. I'm a little bit more focused on the end result, the processed quality product, and what can it do for my patients. So, as well as what can it do for our the financial aspects of our business. So our front end, at least at our drugstore, we're probably about 97% of our business comes from prescription sales. About 3% is from our out front, over-the-counter, niche product sales. So that's kind of what I'm working with. My front end is pretty small, and that's very common in a lot of independent pharmacies. So what we were looking to do was basically find some solutions for our patients. We hear all about this booming cannabis industry, both with marijuana and with hemp as well. Marijuana is not an option here, and it's kind of a divisive subject. So hemp is, and I like to describe hemp as basically all the benefits of marijuana without the high, or without that abuse potential. So we got into hemp after hearing about it several years ago. Well, not hemp so much, but CBD, that buzzword. CBD was being used in pediatric patients with two fairly rare forms of epilepsy with great success. And so, we were just following it from the sense that wondering if that was ever going to become a prescription at some point. And at some point along the way, I guess over at least probably the last 3 or 4 years that they were looking at that, 2014 Farm Bill comes along, and February 2018, we ran into a farmer, 8th generation farmer at a farm in Cynthiana, Kentucky. His name's Brian Furnish, and he's part of the Ananda Hemp operation. And ran into him at a pharmacy conference and got to talking, and he was throwing out things like hemp and CBD and these different cannabinoids are going to be as common as Tylenol in 5 years. And so we've heard lots of claims, and you kind of dismiss them. This is an over-the-counter product. I mean, how much can it really do? That's sort of what's going through my mind. How effective is this going to be? Don't have a lot of data, really have no data to show. There's a lot of testimonial type data, and more is coming as it gets more popular. But so we decided to put some of Ananda's products in our store. And in doing so, I'll be honest, I didn't know a whole lot about what hemp did. So started that education process, as Susan mentioned before, and so I myself have learned a lot about how this works and what it does. And so that, in combination with the results that we have seen from our patients, which is probably somewhere around an 80% success rate for treating things such as pain, inflammatory pain, chronic pain, nerve pain, anxiety, insomnia. We have some folks with multiple sclerosis and the spasticity associated with that are seeing some benefits. And I want to, I'm not making any claims. I'm just sharing what we have collected with the data that we have and what we're seeing. We're getting a lot of return purchasing, which means that it's working. We carry products that are oral, tinctures or oils that go under the tongue. We carry soft gels. We have some deep penetrating topical pain creams. That really it's almost kind of magical a little bit, and I'm not trying to generate sales here, but we'll have an open container that we keep for people to try just in the course of checking out at our drugstore and putting it on their shoulder or their knee. In the time it takes them to process their credit card and sign for it, they're like, wow, yeah, that's crazy. So that happens more than you would think. So I definitely recommend, if you ever have aches and pains, which if anybody doesn't, you know, you could raise your hand at some point. Yeah, okay, there you go. So, no, we have samples and things for folks to try who might be a little hesitant, but I promise, I mean, this stuff's fantastic. It works great. Really, no side effects. You know, some theoretical drug interactions, some things that we would probably avoid until we know more and have a little bit more data. But other than that, I mean, we're seeing great things. So some numbers, just on our little drugstore alone, I looked at September and October's numbers just in hemp sales. So that's some topical products that I believe are on display. Which really, that's the products that we have over on this table over here. That is all I sell. Wow. And just that in itself is about 40 to 45% of our gross sales on our front end since we've put that in February. Wow. So it's legit money. It's thousands of dollars for a small town drugstore in Remington, which, does everybody know where Remington is?
You're putting them on the map.
Yeah, right. So, you know, I really just wanted to share some of the things that this is, you know, being used for. I wanted to let you know that it is extremely successful and it works very well, really with no downside. So this is kind of what, I guess, the end of the line to, you know, get to consumers, at least from a medical perspective. And not only, just want to throw this in, not only does it treat humans, we also can take care of the cats and dogs at home too. So we have some peanut butter flavored oil for dogs, and you know, we actually have a new tincture coming in from Ananda within the next week. So, you know, a phrase that we hear quite often regarding animals is, and I've heard this exact phrase numerous times, my dog is like a completely different dog now. I use it in my dog who has arthritis and suffers from you know, hip issues, and while it's not a cure, it's not going to turn it around. It's definitely, I mean, you can tell it's changed the quality of life in our dog. So, you know, in a nutshell, I think that the market for hemp-based products or cannabis products, the entire industry, really is set to explode. And I'll finish that I just saw an article today where the DEA has quintupled cannabis grown for research to reduce opioid use. So while they may not want to come out and say it, I think they know that there's something there. And you know, everybody's very familiar with the opioid problem that we have. There's going to be a ton of focus on this. So it's going to be a huge need to have the product to take care of this. And so I just wanted to kind of be that voice and let you guys know how great this product is. So thank you very much.